in a very sleepy condition, and then it's ready to go when you need it, so you just move the pedal. But most likely what you really want to do is you just want to turn it off overnight, because 7 hours, 8 hours, hopefully you get to sleep 8 hours, at least it's going to be off, but not really between, for example.
Oh, hey, come on, what kind of crap is that?
Oh, Frank, how are you?
Hey, hi, Silvio.
Hey, what's happening? What are you doing with that?
No, I just checking this out.
Wow, did you like it? Did you like this innovation?
Oh, come on, you kidding me? This is the best innovation I've ever seen in the world.
I saw you playing around with it. You good?
Oh yeah, it's so smooth. Very nice.
All right, Good
Yeah.
on you.
Yeah.
Good on you.
Hello, I'm Frank. Welcome to Veti Coffee Channel. Today we are very pleased and honored to have our head technician here to do the technical training. Okay, so let's welcome Silvio. Oh, yeah.
Thanks very much.
Silvio, can you briefly introduce yourself?
Absolutely. I'm Silvio Rascioni, and I am the after sales manager for the Southern Eastern Asia, plus obviously Taiwan and some other countries around the world. And I'm taking care of all of the after sales procedures. So I'll make sure that your machine is up and running every time.
Cool, awesome. So I suppose you are the right guy to talk with when we would like to have further in-depth issues with
supposedly
espresso machine,
supposedly,
right?
I'm supposed to be the one. Let's make a guess.
Yeah, okay. Okay, so what's the topic for today is that we are going to talk about the 6 essentials to know for home users of espresso machines.
Okay.
Okay, so we raised several questions, and later on we'll rely on you to provide some recommendations and advices.
I'll do my best to get it answered in the best way ever.
Great. Okay, so the first question is that a lot of customers ask us about how often should they do the maintenance of the machine.
Right. Usually what we have it's called a preventive maintenance checklist.
Yeah.
So we do have a schedule on a preventive maintenance because we want your machine to be up and running every time to enjoy your morning coffee. So most likely all the consumable part, what we think is a consumable part, it's always related to on a 3, 6, and 12 months. So every 3 months you're supposed to replace the gaskets and the filter.
Okay.
So then every 6 months, which is the second round, you need to replace again gaskets and filters, and you have to inspect and check the steam valve operation, and in case of too much wear, you have to replace it. But the most important one is every year. Okay. It's where you take care of your safety valves and your vacuum breaker. That's what the valves are there for. Protect your machine to any major problem occurring, because you're always dealing with very hot water and steam, so very high pressure machine.
Do you mean the customer can do it by themselves, or they have to ask us to go there and like do the repair for
the
them?
Customer can obviously check the condition of the machine, and it can give you feedback on what they feel every day on the machine. If something is changed, the customer is crucial in this point of contact, especially because they can give you a lot of feedbacks. But most likely the operation on the machine, we really prefer that a certified technician does that, like Frank and your team, for example, because that will assure the perfect function of the machine and will make sure that the machine is always at the top standard.
Okay, great. So remember, at least once a year, do the very close check of your machines. If you need anything from us, please just call us, right? Okay, cool. Okay, the second frequently asked question is that how often should we drain the coffee boiler? Because customers kind of like worry about that because, water always staying inside the boiler. They never really changed everything. So they're kind of like worried about if there is any bacteria or something happening. So how often should they drain the boiler?
All right, draining the boiler in a proper way of getting rid of from the ball valves. The only way and the only reason for you to drain the boiler, it's by decommissioning the machine for a long time. Let's say you're going overseas.
Travel,
exactly. Let's say you're going overseas for 3 weeks. Okay. It's much more recommended to drain the steam boiler and the coffee boiler from the ball valve on the side.
Can they do it by themselves?
No, exactly. I was saying that you need a technician to do that, especially on the steam boiler, because as always, it's very hot and you don't want to get hurt. So you might as well give a call to Frank, and at least he will teach you how to drain the boiler, or they will come down and arrange it at decommissioning for you, because you really don't want to have a tank of water staying there for about 3 weeks, 4 weeks. It depends how long you're going.
Yeah, great. Okay. Awesome. Do you recommend customers to use RO water, like purified water? Because a lot of customers, they care about water quality or so on and so forth.
Yeah,
Yep.
there's a question that we get every time. I mean, RO water or distilled water, or like very low, close to zero mineral content of the water, does not allow the water tank to be triggered as water is present. Because what happened is, in the tank, there's a sensor that uses a little bit of mineral into the water to conduct electricity and close the circuit to tell the machine that it's actually water.
Yeah.
So if you don't use a little bit of minerals in the water that allows you allows the machine to recognize that there's water, then the machine doesn't feel there's water in.
Okay.
As well as the level probe, so you will occur in a very technical problem, which is an overfilling and on and on. And plus, at the end of the day, we do recommend it that, and it's been most well proven that to extract a proper espresso, you need a little bit of a mineral contact, which is a mix between magnesium, calcium, sodium, on and on and on, which then will harm the machine if it's in a different percentage. So we always recommend you to use the water test kit that it's in the machine. So once you test it, you can double check it online with our water calculator, which will tell you if the water is suitable for espresso brewing and for the machine. And we even recommend you what kind of filters you need. So that is the best way to choose your water for the espresso and for the machine as well.
Yeah, and talking about the minerals in the water, we do have a way to measure it, right? By TDS meter. Do you have a recommended range for the TDS?
Usually a perfect range for, as the SCA is declaring, it's 90 ppm. So the water has to be around 90 ppm.
Yeah.
The only thing that you need to make sure is what's inside that 90 ppm. That's why we give you the strip, so you can measure. Even if you have a 90 ppm water, you really want to know what's inside that water. So to do that, we'll give you a full water test to test it, and there's a lot of instruction there to read it and to realize which minerals are there. And then with that value, you enter it online and you can check it yourself if the water is good. And always double check with Frank if the water is good or not, because it's the best way to realize that.
Okay, so it's very important that if you use the purified water, make sure that at least there are some minerals inside. Otherwise, for home machines, your coffee machine will not be triggered. And besides, if the mineral is too low, probably will have overfilling problem of the water boiler. Anyway, please, if you encounter any problem, please consult us and contact us. Next frequently asked question is that should we switch off the machine every day? Because they're saying that we should leave the machine on all day long.
Yeah.
What's your opinion?
That really depends by the usage, because obviously in a matter of how many cups a day you're doing, how you want to use the machine, and when you need the machine to be ready.
Okay.
Now, obviously, to do that, in order to to get this procedure very smooth, we did an auto on-off schedule, and we add a standby mode, which will get the machine in a very sleepy condition, and then it's ready to go when you need it. So you just move the paddle. But most likely, what you really want to do is you just want to turn it off overnight, because 7 hours, 8 hours, hopefully you get to sleep 8 hours. At least it's going to be off. But not really for example, between the morning and your afternoon coffee, because the time frame is very short, and there is no reason to turn off the element and the whole machine which cool down, and then you need a lot of power and a lot of energy consumption to bring up all the liters of water into the machine up at your disposal. So you really want to have the temperature constant there. So then in the afternoon you get your own coffee, and if you think you're not going to have guests at night, or you're not going to drink coffee at night, you're just going to turn it off and then set it to get it up in the morning after. So in the morning you get a nice freshly brewed coffee. Yeah,
so we're talking about efficiency and electricity consumption, but is it safe to leave the machine on overnight?
It is absolutely safe. All the machines are built because they need to be always on. So all the O-rings, all the valves and everything, It's there and it's well tested to be on.
Okay.
And it does have a lots of safety purpose that it will switch it off if something happen.
Yeah.
And there's nothing to be worried about it. You can leave it on, or you can use our auto standby feature.
Yeah, okay, awesome. And next question is that a lot of, for commercial users, a lot of older cafes, they recommend us to do that. We release the steam
Right.
all the way after we switch off the machine.
After, okay.
Yeah. Do you think that make any sense?
I mean, some people do that. I do not see any plus in doing that, to be honest, because first, steam is created after 100 degrees. So when water evaporates and reach 100 degrees, it will turn into steam. Then it will pressurize it and the temperature will increase. What happens is, as soon as you turn off the machine, the temperature will start to drop. So as soon as the temperature into the boiler gets to 100 degrees again and lower, all the steam that it's in there, it will turn into water again. So, and plus there's a lot of vacuum breakers, there's a lot of valves that it will allow this process to happen in a most safety way.
Yeah.
So there is no reason for you to empty all the steam and watching the machine just getting the steam out of the valve.
Okay.
Because it will do that by itself, and
Yeah.
everything it's addressed to go into the drain box. So you would not have any leak or any condensation, because for example, when you open up the steam, you have condensation all around the machine, so you have a lot of steam going off, especially when you open both of them. And it's not gonna make anything quicker. You just turn it off and go.
Okay, cool. Another example is that we do have a customer that he released the steam, but he forgot to switch off the machine.
Yeah, well.
So what happens
yeah.
is that the whole night the machine keep running the steam.
Exactly.
etc.
Then there's no steam. Then there's no steam. So the machine does the best to give you the steam back, and then you get this constant cycle, and then the next month you find yourself with a big dollar bill at the end
Yeah, exactly.
of the month.
Yeah,
Or,
right.
Yeah.
Okay, and a lot of home users, when they activate the hot water, and they feel like a lot of steam comes out with the hot water. Is
Yeah.
that normal?
It is normal because the hot water spout gets the water all from the steam boiler. And actually, we use the steam pressure to push the water into your hot water spout.
Okay.
And as I said before, the temperature inside the steam boiler, it's very high. It's over 100 because
Yeah.
otherwise you wouldn't have steam.
Yeah.
So when the steam pushes the water to get into the spout, the water there, it's somewhere around 99 and 100 degrees. So as soon as it touches the room ambience temperature, it will release a little bit of a steam, that will go away if the water keep running.
Yeah.
That's because when you open it, you put in communication the steam boiler right at the bottom, because the hose that gets the hot water spout is right at the bottom. So you see the steam that it's produced by the very hot water that comes from the spout. But it's not harmful, it's totally normal, and
Yeah.
obviously be careful to not be that close to the spout when you do this, but then it will get adapted to the right temperature.
Yeah, okay. And for some high-end commercial machine, pro machines, they are water mixer.
Exactly.
In this case,
exactly.
we do not have.
Yeah,
this.
you don't see that in commercial machine that has a preheater and a water mixer.
Yeah.
Because we remix the water with some fresh water, so we drop the temperature from 100, 101, 99, around that, to drop it to the desired temperature for the service.
Okay. Okay, thank you, Silvio, for giving us so many advices in this trip. We really learned a lot from this trip, from your trip to Taiwan.
More than a pleasure. Always more than a pleasure.
And thank you for that. And hopefully this video will help you understand more about personal machine at home. Okay, and thank you for watching. And if you like our video, please
like, subscribe, and comment. Comments is very important.
Okay.
As much as subscribe.
Okay.
Yeah, subscribe.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
See you next
Ciao.
time. Ciao.
Bye.
Ciao.
Bye.
Have our head technician here to do the technical training. Barista training. Okay, so let's go to the conclusion. And so
How you want to do the conclusion?
Conclusion is that, do you have any other recommendation for the Taiwanese users?
Just drink more coffee.
Just drink more and buy more machines.
It's